Hi guys, I'm here today to do my weekly wrap up for January week 3 and 4. I read a total of 9 books in these past 2 weeks. And yeah, I'm sorry I didn't upload my weekly wrap up last week. I was sick and we just got back from vacation and I just didn't really feel like filming. So yes, I am going to talk about 9 books that I read. So let's start. The first one was a reread, and that is Enchant by Rachel Van Dyken. This is point 5 in the Eagle Elite series. I listened to this on the airplane to San Francisco. And as I said, it was a reread. This follows Joyce and Frank. And I gave this 4 out of 5 stars, and really enjoyed it. And then I read Elite, which is book 1 in the Eagle Elite series. This was a reread. I think this was my 3rd time reading this, and I really enjoyed it. I listened to this on audio, also on the plane. This follows Tracy, who just moves to a new school, and Nixon, who is like the head of the school. He's very popular, and they have rules, and I really enjoy this series. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and highly recommend if you're wanting some like mafia books. And then I read Riven Night by Denby Perry. This is book 2 in the Tin Gypsy series. This came out on the 21st. I listened to this on audio too. This follows Genevieve and Isaiah. And this is a marriage of convenience story. And I really enjoyed it. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. And I used this for the winter challenge on the Moon Pack for Romanceopoly, because I think night is a winter word. And I really enjoyed this and looking forward to continuing on with the series. And yes, this picks up pretty much right where Gypsy King finishes. And you get to see Bryce and what is his name? Dash, too. So I did enjoy it. And then I listened to The Death of Mrs Westaway by Ruth Ware. I used this for Romanceopoly too, and this was for Self Street on Sunpack. I listened to this on audio. I bought this audiobook this month, or January, and I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. I'm not a huge mystery thriller fan, but I know Kayla from Books and Lala enjoys this book, and it wasn't bad. This follows Hal, who gets like a invitation sort of, or like a will reading thing, that she has inherited some money, and she doesn't think it's actually meant for her, but she goes anyways and trying to find out why. So yes. And then I read Whatever It Takes by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is book 1 in the Bad Reputation duet. This is Willow and Garrison's first book, which you meet these two, Willow and Garrison, in her Addicted series, and this is just their story, and I loved it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. and this book just shows me how much I miss the addicted world, and loved it. I really loved getting Willow and Garrison's story, and I relate so much to Willow, and Garrison. Their story is so cute, and I loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. And this also came out on the 21st. And highly, 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 highly recommend this series. I wouldn't necessarily say you have to read the Addicted series before you read that, but I would recommend it I would recommend it if you were planning on reading the Addicted series, because you do learn stuff from the Addicted series. So, and then the next book I read was Thick by Alexa Riley. This was a reread. This was the first Read Me Romance podcast for the first week. And as I said, this was a reread. I gave this 3.5 out of 5 stars. This follows Tiny and Bull. This is a instant love of romance, so if you're not a fan of that, don't read it or listen to it. I really enjoyed the audiobook, and it follows Teeny, who just moved across the way of Bull, who is a giant and doesn't like going out, and then they meet, and it's their story. And then I read The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This is the first book by her that I've read. I used this for the Sunpack Past Eves, which is to read a historical fiction. And I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. I listened to this on audio. As you can tell, this is the format I used. And this follows 2 sisters during the World War II, and it's just their story. As I said, I'm not a huge historical fiction person, so it was okay. I can see why people like it. I can see why people don't. Yeah. And then I read Wherever You Are by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is the second book in the Bad Reputation duet. It came out on the 28th. This is the continuation of Willow and Garrison's story. And 5 out of 5 stars. Again, I just love this series. Love this. Getting back into the Addicted series. And yeah, I loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. And I don't know if you could tell, but the cover has coding in the background, and so does the first one, which is so fitting, and I absolutely love these covers, and I can't wait to buy these books in paperback when they are available on their website. I will buy them signed and add them to my collection, and I can't wait to own these books. It made me really want to reread the Addicted series. And then finally, I read Doublebooked by Tessa Bailey, which was the Read Me Romance podcast for this week. And I gave this 3.5 out of 5 stars. This follows a woman, and she goes on a date, and then she realized that she actually double booked. She has 2 dates. One is a cop and one is a biker, and it goes from there. And I really enjoyed it. It was a quick and easy read. I think the first part was only 37 minutes, and the second part was an hour and 12 minutes. So this one's really quick and enjoyable. I really did enjoy it. So 3.5 out of 5 stars, and yeah. And those are the books I read in the last 2 weeks, the 9 books I read in the last 2 weeks, and I really enjoyed almost all of them. And yeah, what are some books you read in the last month? And if you want a full review on any of these, just let me know, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.